Can separate property become marital property during a marriage? Imagine owning a house before you say I do, but then, over time, that house starts to feel like part of your shared life. Can it suddenly change from your own property to something both of you share? The answer is yes, it can. When you get married, assets you own before marriage are usually considered separate property. But certain actions can turn that into marital property, which means it will be divided during a divorce. One way this happens is through transmutation. If you own a house before marriage but then add your spouse's name to the title, the court might see that as a gift of your property to the marriage. This can make the house part of the marital estate unless you have proof that you didn't intend that. Another common way is commingling. If you use marital funds to pay the mortgage or improve the house, it can blur the lines. For example, if you deposit marital income into an account that owns the house, the court might decide part of that property is now shared. Contributions by the other spouse also matter. If your spouse helps renovate or maintain your property, courts may see that as a contribution that increases its value. For instance, if your spouse helps improve a business or property you inherited, they might have a claim to a share of the increased value. Changing the title or ownership during the marriage is another factor. If you transfer ownership to both of you, that property is likely to be considered marital. Avoid mistakes like mixing separate assets with marital funds or not documenting your intentions. For example, if you add your spouse to the deed without clear agreements, it can cause disputes later. Also, even if you inherit or receive a gift, it can become marital property if you use marital resources to improve or maintain it. To prevent issues, keep separate property funds separate from marital accounts. Use legal agreements like prenuptial or postnuptial contracts to clarify property rights. Always document when you use marital funds on separate property, and consult a family law attorney to understand how laws work in your state. Being careful with how you handle your assets can help protect your property and reduce conflicts if you ever go through a divorce.